Good evening, everybody. This is Chill Crypto, and you are here with Goku and Krillin. If you heard our last episode, yay! If you heard our last episode, we dealt with what BitClout was and did a nice little summary video, right? Summary episode. If you've missed that, please check that out. It'll be a good introduction into this episode. However, before we get into that, we must give a disclaimer that we are not financial advisors. We are just people talking about our experiences, talking about what we're doing. And if that's something that appeals to you, go ahead, but do your own research. But yes, without any more ado, let's just get right into it. So how did you find out about BitClout?
I'm loving the fact that you cheered for yourself at some point in the video. I love it. Yeah, in terms of how I got into BitClout, what was it? A friend of mine, actually messaged me on Twitter, and I'm speaking to the friend about loads of things, investing in something for them, and just something and something completely different, investment wise. And then they just said to me,
so this is a good friend who's got some entrepreneurial experience and happens to be launching, or at least working at launching something else. And
right, exactly.
What's
So
the background in that?
Yeah, so we have a mutual friend. Funny enough, we're both investing in their business, right? But yeah, we as a result, they now went to reach out to me just to check on how things are going and just to speak about something in the process. And that's all well and good, that's fine. And then, they also just randomly message me and say, oh, by the way, have you heard about BitClout? And obviously I'm under my crypto rock at the moment. So I've not even been on socials or anything. So this is really even like the only reason I'm on the social media at all right now is just to have this conversation with him. And I then open up the message. I'm thinking BitClout. I don't want to, just blag it as if I know what it is, because in September last year, someone told me about NBA Top Shot, and like the clown that I was, I just pushed it to the side. I didn't think anything of it, only to find out that I was going to be buying, things for ridiculous amounts in February, in January, when I could have got those things for peanuts back then.
So you could have been a relatively early adopter of NBA Top Shot.
Right, exactly. And so you don't want to make the same mistake twice. And so I've realized more and more, especially in the crypto world where everything moves so fast, find out whenever anybody mentions crypto this or bit that or block that, like make sure you go and figure out what that actually means. And so I went straight onto Google, started doing my research, found the website, found the white paper, started reading, and then said to my friend, I've not heard about this until just now. He then sent me a podcast that was really helpful. I think it was the podcast by Sean VP and somebody else, and they speak about how I made my first million. And yeah, they essentially covered BitClout on episode, like off head, I think it's 176. I could be very wrong here, but anyway,
it's episode 165.
Ooh, I wasn't terribly far off.
That's amazing. It wasn't far off at all.
Yeah, one off each of the second numbers. But anyway, yeah, man, it was really, really, really good episode. Really, really helpful. Really useful episode. Kind of like broke down the fundamentals for me and in terms of what it was. And yeah, straight away, as soon as our episode was done, I got back from a morning walk. I opened my laptop, and work for that day was finding out about BitClout and throwing money and seeing what sticks. And yes, a lot stuck. A lot stuck. So yeah, man, I think for me the real thing here is about, like I said, being an early adopter. Missing the opportunity to be an early adopter in NBA Top Shot possibly cost me hundreds of thousands, if not over $1 million.
That's no word of an exaggeration.
Yeah, no, it's not an exaggeration in the slightest. And so now that I'm dealing with this, I don't want to make the same mistake. And yeah, I've gone in guns blazing, and I'm seeing the results. And
So how quickly did you move from conversation with Guy, with Fred that you are
right,
investing with, to
yeah,
actually getting some crypto on the website so you can actually make your investments? What
about
was the
four
gap?
hours, about 3, 4 hours.
Instant.
I said 3, 4 hours. You say instant potato, tomato, tomato. um, yeah, man, that was it. And then obviously I reached out to you guys. Um, I think I reached out to you guys when I was on my way back from the morning walk. Before I actually made a purchase, I think I reached out to you guys and I told you guys I have something big that we need to talk about that might, be worth a lot of money. We might be really early adopters. I sent the podcast, and yeah, I just knew from there we all started to slowly witness, come to kind of terms with what was being built and what was available to us. So yeah, man, it was definitely a really cool space to be in. Really, really cool space. And yeah, I guess I spoke to you straight after, so that was kind of how you found out. But like, what's your experience been since then? Have you put money down yet?
So it's interesting, right? Because yeah, it's interesting hearing your journey, because you because our stories intersect, because you tell us via the group chat, you drop the podcast in the group, and then I think it was a slightly busy morning for myself, so I then get the opportunity to listen to the podcast whilst I'm doing like a million other things. And the podcast is it's just interesting. Like every corner of that podcast is interesting. At least the episode that we listened to is
Yeah.
interesting. Really enjoyed it. And then it got to BitClout, right? But the thing was, I think I had 15 minutes or so before we were supposed to get into another call to discuss another investment that we're working on.
Right.
So I knew my time was short. But I heard enough in those 15 minutes to realize that, wow, I'm not going to let this train pass me by. Like just a sort of like an elementary understanding of what it is, the use cases, and just being in the crypto space, as you said, or at least that you alluded to, things move in warp speed in the crypto space, right? So
Facts.
so I literally sat down and I thought to myself, yeah, what do I need to move in order to, and as you know, for some very strange reasons, I'm not as liquid as I would normally be, right? Yeah, so I started thinking, which cryptos am I going to sell? I definitely can't wait for another 7 days. Do I need to take out a loan? Like I started strategizing and scheming, because I realized that, wow,
Right.
like this is just such an opportunity. You think about it, right? How many people, right? How many people had the opportunity to be one of the first 30,000 users on Twitter, right? Only
Right.
30,000, right?
Right.
Only 30,000 people. And the
It's
the,
very true.
the competitive advantage that you'd have had would have been amazing, right? However, as far as monetizing Twitter, it's a very
Yeah, it's
complex
not
thing.
direct. It's
It's not
indirect.
direct, and especially back then, like monetizing Twitter was something Twitter was trying to figure out, right? But this,
Themselves. Yeah, yeah.
right from the get go, you get the opportunity to monetize, right? So, bro, I went on there and I sold a couple of my cryptos. Um, sent some Bitcoin to the BitClout account. Actually, I had some difficulties for some reason. So for some reason, actually, if I start again, what usually happens is that when you set up an account, you receive some freebie BitCloud coins, right? That's how it's supposed to work, basically, right?
Yeah. But you encountered issues, didn't you?
I
It wasn't
encountered
it
issues.
wasn't as smooth as it was like for mine, it was perfectly smooth. But yeah, I
I
know that you
I
had
was so
issues.
jealous. I was so jealous. Like I had issues. I was waiting for my coins to land. I was desperate. I reached out to my wife. I was like, "Yo, set up an account. Is there something that you actually know about that you can like just try and corner the market on?" And You won't believe it. She set up an account and she had this exact same issue. She didn't receive
What?
her BitClout coins. So just sitting there feeling cursed and thinking, like, what is it? Is it my IP address? Like, what's going on here? So yeah, long story short, as soon as I was able to send some BTC to my account, and I was able to transfer BTC to BitCloud. What's the ticker for the BitCloud
It's
coin?
literally BitClout.
Okay, yeah, just BitClout. Yeah, so as quickly as I'm able to do that, then I just get to researching, man. I just get to researching who's on the platform, who's claimed their account, who's active. Like, just those are the three things that I was looking at. Who's on there, as far as famous people, who's active, and who's claimed their accounts.
Yeah.
And I started putting money, where my research took me. But yeah, like that was my journey.
How long have you been in now for?
I've I've been in for about 2 days. Is it 2 days?
2 days, yeah. Yeah. So yeah, we've been in for the same amount of time. I've probably been in for a few hours longer, but hours in this kind of world probably makes a world of difference, to be honest.
Absolutely. But I guess I asked you about your strategy in one of our many groups, because I think I just don't want to be in a situation where I look back in like 2 months' time and I'm just like, yo, like, Krillin, you could have done this a whole lot more effectively. You could you could
Yeah.
have you could have put your money in different places, and you'd have been a millionaire by now.
No, yeah. Therefore. No, I get that. What's my strategy been? Yeah, I think I actually told you guys I didn't want to speak about that for just like for speaking's sake. I wanted to make sure that
Yeah, you
if we
see, you
spoke,
did.
I'm not going to speak about that for free. If we're speaking about this, we're speaking online, on YouTube until they decentralize YouTube, and we then have a better place to put this. But right now, my strategy has been find the best talent in whatever domain as early as possible. Um, and so I find people with big Twitter followings, people with big Instagram or YouTube followings who have literally landed within hours. Once I find them, I put money in them, and I buy at least one or two coins as soon as I physically can. Probably put down like $100 in each, 100, $200, whatever in each person. Sometimes more, but yeah, it depends. And then I let it ride. I just let it ride, and I find another, and I find another.
When you say you find, like, what does that look like? Are you on Twitter looking
Yeah,
at
yeah,
who's
yeah, yeah, yeah.
claimed their account?
So I might scroll, for example, scroll through VC Twitter and find every VC that's out there that has over 10,000, 15,000, 20,000 followers. I'm thinking about people who are doing really well at building communities and relationships as well. And they're the type of people that I'm thinking, yeah, especially community builders. They're going to be some of the most trustworthy, lovable, consistent people. And so they're gonna grow. And so you'll find me putting down money in them, knowing that in the long run, these guys are gonna return me my money like X fold. And I say in the long run, but for most people I've put money down in, they've doubled, most of them have doubled within hours. Most of them have doubled in value within hours. Most of them. Um, One of them I actually put money in. I definitely didn't put enough. I put in like maybe 150 in. And, you know, next thing you know, someone tweets about them and says, we need to get this person on the platform properly. And the guy said, thanks. And next thing you know, he drops like another $6,000 in that person's account, in that person's coin. And so the value of my holding now goes from like 150 to 900. And I'm just like, yeah, I messed up. Should have put more. Really should have put more. And to be honest with you, I'm still convinced he's going to grow a lot more than that. So it's not even a bad thing if I leave it, if I put down more, if I leave it there, whatever. But yeah, it's really, really, really is an interesting space. Like just being in a platform like this so early.
I guess that's one of the benefits of being early. you can drop £150 and
see it turn
lift.
to 900. Yeah.
Absolutely. Like see it turn to 9,000.
Yeah.
You're gonna live with regret, but you're still going to make a healthy sum. Right.
Yeah, I think so. Even in terms of strategy, so I did mention Twitter was one strategy. Other strategies have actually just been seeing who provides amazing value on the platform. So I know there's a guy, for example, called XAM, or a girl called XAM. I don't know, but someone called XAM, Zam. They've been producing like analytical value based off the blockchain, and that's been really helpful until their coin value has shot up to like $3,000 or something. Someone like that is always going to be useful for as long as people are interested in terms of like how the platform is growing, which is definitely going to be there for like the next few months at the very least. So that's the kind of person you want to have around. There's been another guy who's built like a little newsletter or a shout out platform where you can kind of show what kind of category you clout about, or you write about, or whatever. And I know that coin has now jumped to like, again, like $4,000 in value, because yeah, what he says is that if you want to be prioritized in terms of adding yourself to the list or the website, you need to buy into this coin. And so yeah, that's another way of monetizing. And then there's people like me who just like write randomly and regularly on just interesting like intellectual stuff and you know, and interesting stuff and whatever's happening in the area at a particular time, and random insights that I'm spotting and things happening within my network. And you know, people just drop money in your thing.
Can you confirm your current market cap?
My current market cap is quite low. My current market cap is like $3,000. But
Yeah,
yeah,
I mean,
considering
£3,000. You've been on the platform for how many days?
for 2 days, and I'm, to be fair, I'm using an anonymous handle. So this handle is not my Twitter handle. This is a really anonymous handle. And yeah, got $3,000.
And are you finding also, so I guess you've kind of touched on this, but are you finding that there's various industries being genres being talked about? So I guess the example I have in mind is, can I go on there, and if my thing is to talk about hair, you know, will I be successful talking about hair on BitClout in the same way you would be talking about hair on Twitter? Likewise, because you mentioned like the VC people, you mentioned people who provide insights about BitClout, right? But like if I was just talking about just random stuff, right? If that was my type of thing, whether that was sports or movies, etc., nothing to do with the crypto world. Is there a space for me, and can I flourish?
Right. That's a really, really, really good question, to be honest. Early Twitter was primarily tech nerds and VCs. Early Clubhouse was primarily music and like AR and VCs. Early BitClout is primarily crypto nerds and VCs. It's going to initially be very crypto nerdy and VC centric. However, just like on all those other platforms, as they come, the space opens up for them. So as you get more and more people coming who want to deal with hair products, more people coming who want to deal with, you name it, foreign languages, or people who want to deal with like being an expat, or people who want to deal with like photography, and you're starting to see it slowly. The more they come, you know, the more the space just opens up, and they'll find that kind of space in the crowd for them accordingly, and you'll find your audience. And you know, you're starting to see it already, like I said, and with the way that BitClout has done its growth hacking, you're bound to get that probably even faster than on those other platforms. But right now, it is heavily like people who are just intrigued by the platform, people who are really into crypto, people who are really into investing. and like are building stuff and who are on the forefront, because essentially they're early adopters, and early adopters always have these kind of like weird quirks whereby they want to be on the edge of innovation. And so, yeah. Whereas mainstream, it's just not hit the mainstream yet. Just like underground music or neo soul music, how it took a while for that to kind of hit mainstream, or house music to hit mainstream. You know, it takes time. Yeah.
I mean, on this idea of hitting mainstream, I think it's really it will be really interesting if all things being equal, if BitClout's able to just provide a fantastic service, maintain confidence, at least user confidence. It'll be interesting to see, right, how people, whether people make that transition from traditional. It's interesting that I can put the word traditional before Twitter, or
Wow.
traditional
True.
before Instagram, but traditional social media forms like the Twitters, like the Instagrams. It'll be interesting to see if people do the do do the math equation and realize that actually, why am I tweeting for free? Right?
This is what we're getting at now.
Why am I posting for free? I mean, we both often say, I'm not going to have this conversation free, because you realize that actually, there's a use case for this where we can actually get paid, right? But I wonder how long it's going to take people to do that same equation and say, well, I'm going to try and take my 1.5 million Twitter followers, and we're going to try and educate them about this platform. And I'm going to stop using Twitter. I'm going to be using BitClout, because the more I use BitClout, the more consistency I put into that, the more money I can make. I mean, actually, if I'm one of the top 12,000 people, there's money waiting for me, period. I
Right.
wonder how long it's going to take.
Right. No, yeah, I think that's the question. How long will it take? Who knows? But what I will say is that adoption's been really rapid, and 30,000 people using a platform in a week and a half, 2 weeks. And of those 30,000 people, quite a lot of them being celebrities. That's no small thing. So yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if we start to see that, just word of mouth happening, even at the the high clout, the celebrity kind of, the A-class celebrity level. Yeah, I think that's really gonna drive adoption, even if not for, oh, we're moving away from centralized to decentralized, and feeding the platforms to feeding ourselves and community owned and all this kind of stuff. I still think that just the celebrity aspect alone and stuff is going to be a huge kind of selling point in the long run. Yeah, that's definitely the case. And there's so many ways to make money off this kind of platform that the world becomes your oyster. And to be honest, when they open up the APIs, which is like the kind of like interactive, your ability to interact with the blockchain directly yourself, then the number of platforms that will be built off this are endless. Respectfully. Yeah,
I
man.
mean, I think that just ending it on that last point, because where'd you go with endless? It's just endless, right?
Yeah.
And I think
We will see.
I
Sorry to cut you. Go on.
now go on.
Yeah, I was just gonna say you will see at that point, if it does go well, you will see a Substack built on BitClout. You will see not only Twitter, but Substack. You'll see Instagram. You will see Pinterest. You will see Facebook. You will see TikTok, and people will literally race to create these platforms. So, and the tech is easy. The tech is actually relatively easy to build. So, yeah, I think we should watch this space, and yeah, definitely an interesting place to be. But whether you're building tools or trying to invest in sweet creators early, or trying to find people who are verified and bound to continue to grow in the future, in the long run, yeah, I think the world really is your oyster in this particular instance.
What a time to be alive.
Honestly. Yeah, man, I think you're right. Let's leave it there today. And we can pick this up another time. Definitely have more episodes on BitClout in the future. If there's anything that you guys want us to speak about as well, just the viewers, listeners, do let us know, drop us a comment, drop a message, and we'll definitely try and pick that up in another video or podcast episode. But yeah, this is Chill Crypto once again. If you enjoyed it, definitely do like, share, subscribe, tell a friend, buy into our coins. Not that we have any public coins for you guys at the moment, but if we do, we'll put it in the comments. And yeah, do try and follow us on all socials. Listen onto the podcast if you don't get time to watch the video on YouTube. And yeah, hopefully you can enjoy the ride, and hopefully we'll catch you on BitClout soon enough.
We actually have to go make sure we purchase our BitClout account for Chill Crypto.
Yeah. Before somebody goes and makes.
I can just imagine one of our listeners just going in there and holding us to ransom. But yeah, we need to sort that out. Thank you very much.
All right. Cheers.